Even if you are an adult, what is something that you are never truly too old for? Getting excited seeing animals. Whenever I see a dog, my mood just gets 30% better, no matter how bad it was before. Dogs are just so happy. My old boy wags his tail when he sees anyone. He's seen us every day for 14 years, and he still wags his tail. He finds a sock, and it makes his day. He gets a treat, and it makes his day. He goes for a walk and it's the best day, every day, and if he meets another dog on his walk, they have a great time. Video games. I'm 63 and still enjoy them. Let's go, my man. What kind of games do you like to play? My grandpa plays an older COD game, I forget which one, and plays gun game, and just runs around knifing people, because he likes pissing them off. It cracks him up when they start going off in the lobby cussing him out and calling him a for knifing them. My dad loves COD Modern Warfare, the original, and plays multiplayer all the time. Accuses people of cheating who play too well, and makes up obscure names for the hacks they must be using just to distract and annoy them. The best one I've heard for trolling in COD was a mate who used to put his 5 years old on headset while he played. I got another one. Addy probably has an interesting effect on someone in their 20s playing against them in deathmatch. Haha. By the way guys, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It will help us out quite a bit, and if you don't enjoy the videos in the future anymore, you can always unsubscribe. Let's get back to the video. When my boys were little I would tuck them in bed, then I would put my hands on either side of their body above the blanket, and while pushing up and down, slow then fast, would sing, "You are Snagatabyajanarug, Snagatabyajanarug, Snagatabyajanarug." They would laugh and ask for more, and it is now a fond memory. My kids are adults now, and the other night my oldest and I were chatting as he was in bed, and I was at the door. He asked me to turn off his light and I asked him if I could do anything else for him. He got this grin and said, "Snug as a bug in a rug." I said yes, which he couldn't believe, and I did it. We ended up giggling so hard. We had the best laugh, and as I turned out his light I could see he just looked so pleased and bemused. Haha. His brother was also going to bed, so I offered "snug as a bug in a rug" to him too. He said yes. Again, full of giggles that were still happening as I closed his door. It doesn't matter how old you are never too old to be Snagatabyajanarug. Edit. Whoa. I'm so glad that this brought so many nice memories back for people. For those that don't have those memories, I don't either, but I'll offer to snug as a bug in a rug you. Thanks for all of the awards. Yes. My mom always announced bedtime by singing "Goodnight Ladies" to my sisters and me as she walked down the hallway. We knew that meant hop into bed and get ready to be tucked in. It was the best part of the bedtime routine. One time when all three of us were home visiting, we were in one room chatting about things and all of a sudden we hear "Goodnight Ladies." The thrilled looks on our faces must have made my mom so happy. Or maybe it was having all her girls home with their girls. We were all three grown, married, and 4 granddaughters. Sigh. Makes my heart feel good thinking on that now. Feeling too old for stuff. Seriously, unless you physically can't do something, you're never really too old for hobbies or fun things you did when you were younger. The sooner you learn to drop that phrase "I'm too old for X" the better you'll be. So much this. Even if our neurons don't fire like they used to, it's never too late, barring physical or mental impairment, to pick up a hobby or to just stop and enjoy things as they are. Too many folks get caught up in the rat race, and at the end of our lives, all we wish for is more time, never for more money or possessions or status, just time. We'll all regret not doing some of the things we wished we had done. So it's best if we trash this "I'm too old for" mentality and started living more consciously. Yeah, in my late teens/early 20s I went through a phase of thinking I needed to be more grown up and basically became an emotionless robot and felt like I shouldn't be enjoying things because it was too childish. Luckily, since having my son, for now, I've realized how stupid that is. I love being silly dad and playing with him. Tickle fights are a common occurrence in our house too. I realized it's not childish to enjoy things, even if they are made for children. I started watching Power Rangers with my son, one of my favorite childhood shows, and am enjoying that again. I actually smile properly in photos again. I hope my son never grows up and feels like I did. Learning. There's a great video of two British military veterans, one who served recently in Afghanistan and the other a much older veteran who served in WWII, speaking with each other and describing their experiences. I thought one of the most powerful lines in the conversation was from the older veteran, a 95-year-old man who lived and fought through so much history and has seen how much the world has changed over the course of nearly a century. Say to the young veteran, "I've learned a lot from you." The tagline "You've seen a lot, haven't you son?" gets me every single time. If you've ever seen the show, one of my favorite episodes of King of the Hill is where the main character tries to get his dad's WWII veterans group to let in some Vietnam vets to save the Veterans Center. At first the WWII vets mock the Vietnam vets for losing and call them wusses for their PTSD, but eventually the WWII vets crack and express their own PTSD. One of them sadly says, "I haven't slept in 60 years." It was a meaningful episode. Hugging your parents. To be fair, I don't think my parents would argue that your age was an issue. They'd probably just want to know how you got into their house. Yep, no matter how old I get. Unfortunately, my mom passed last year. Makes it all the more apparent how much those interactions meant to me. Might have only been a few times a year, but it mattered. I went through a phase, like most do, where their parents are a drag and you don't talk to them as much. Where you might be embarrassed to go out with them, or to hug and say "I love you." I sat there thinking about it, and didn't like what I felt. So I said I would always hug them when I saw them, and say "I love you" when we left. I also call and text them every week, since I moved years ago. They then moved away, and it became even more important to me. Same goes for my grandmother, although I call twice a week usually. I've been happier for it. I usually hug and say "I love you" to my friends when I leave as well. About half a dozen mention Lego or cartoons or video games, but not one of you mentions board games. Now I know many will say adults play board games. My parents always played Scrabble on Sunday nights, or Monopoly on Thanksgiving or whatever. First, I know several adults who eyeball board games as kids' toys, and since they are not a kid and don't play with dolls or action figures, they also don't play with board games. Secondly, Scrabble, Monopoly, Clue, Battleship, Connect 4, and so on are antiquated board games. What I'm referring to are modern board games. Since the mid-90s, board games have had this resurgence, and by the early 2000s we're having this huge uprising in new and innovative games. The hobby is growing by leaps and bounds. Thousands of games released each year. Board game stores and cafes are popping up everywhere. Yet it still feels that the hobby is mostly flying under the radar of the general public. I'd almost say board games are an adult thing. Sure, children do have board games, but today kids have phones and stuff. I can't imagine a group of kids playing a board game unless they are super little or at some type of event. They are too busy playing Fortnite. Yeah, the only people I know who want to play board games of any kind are either my parents and grandparents, the classic games, and my friends who are in their 30s, the modern ones. I would disagree with this. I'm a daycare teacher and my kids love board games. They frequently mention that they have a particular game at home and that they play it with their siblings/cousins/friends, pre-COVID, etc. Taking an honest look at your life. The relationships, directions, obstacles, and desires. Then re-evaluating how important all your goals are and how many of them are unrealistic or borrowed from others. Then, try living in a way that honors what is important. Each and every day. Even if you fall short, living consciously is worthwhile. That is a very adult thing to do. I do this every day, and every day I ask myself, what the man, this hits so close to home for me this last few months. Your post is a reaffirmation of what I've been meditating on recently, and I needed to start this morning by reading it. Thank you. You could actually be too old for this one if you were about to die. Each day you make 1,000 choices. What you are focused on, what emotions will rule your night and day, the memories you choose to recall, what you meditate upon, how you savor the small things, openness to gratitude. I'm a grown deaf. People definitely see me as a hard because of my profession. I still rock Disney soundtracks while prepping. It gets you going and will undoubtedly put you in a good mood. Also, pup isn't pretty much any animal. Never too old to get excited about animals. Honestly, the older I get, the more I encourage myself to enjoy what I did as a kid, occasional fruit snacks, cartoons, etc. Life is short to be an adult all the time. Edit, on mobile. I also felt like adding that the owners of the last restaurant I worked at had a 2-year-old that cheered whenever a train went by. Try it out the next time you see one. No matter how stupid you might feel, it will make you smile. There is a restaurant in Ypsilanti, Michigan called Sidetracks, as it is literally right next to some train tracks. It's an old depot town, literally called Depot Town, and not near any manufacturing, so it's a really nice little area. Whenever a train goes by, which shakes the whole restaurant pretty much, you either A cheer, B cheers with your neighbors, C take a drink. There's a coffee shop near where I live that cut out a garage door, leaves it open, and is literally less than 10 feet from the rails. When trains go by it is super loud, but you can walk right up to the train as it passes by. Super cool. I lose my collective mind every time I go there, not to mention the coffee is epic. Sitting in my PJs eating cereal at noon on a Tuesday. Before the pandemic, a theater near us had a regular Saturday morning cartoons feature which included all-you-can-eat cereal. Attendees were encouraged to show up in PJs. This sounds awesome. Agreed. We never really got up the energy to go there on a Saturday morning, but the same theater also regularly showed Godzilla double features. First one dubbed, second one subbed, and it brought out nerds of all ages. It was awesome. Bruh, this is too real. My first day off of the week is on Tuesdays, after working doubles from Thursday on. There's nothing better than waking up whenever the I feel like on Tuesday and just slowly waking up eventually to get my coffee and taking all the time I want to get ready for the rest of the day. Laughing at sounds. Both of my grandpas were in their 80s and giggled like kids whenever they heard a and it is oddly a very beautiful memory of both. I tell my grandkids bless you when they burp. I pretty much say that to everyone. I get some weird looks. I was sitting with my youngest grandson who was watching TV, and I let out a burp. He absent-mindedly said bless you. I'm so proud. My grandpa walked into the living room, where I was sitting. My cousin's dog was following him. Grandpa let one rip, stopped, turned and looked at the dog, and at the exact same time we both said, stupid dog. God, I miss that crazy bastard. We used to call him Grand. Will always be funny. The other day I did a do you hear that, and when everyone got quiet and attentive, let one rip. Got a decent laugh. Serious answer. I was staying over with my aunt for a few weeks for various reasons, and one time I got in from the rain, France. It rains constantly, and she was sitting alone at the kitchen table drinking a glass of wine. I gestured to the bottle and she waved like it was nothing, letting a 16-year-old drink a glass of wine. Because, you see, to her it wasn't, because she had received the news that her was terminal and would likely see her die after the end of the ski season, which was weeks away. So it came to pass. She was 44. I'm currently 41 and also have though mine gives me a decent shot at survival. Let's hope so, eh? She said to me words that I have lived by, you never really get old, you just get older. I look in shop windows, or I did, when they were open, and I think who's that old woman? The answer of course is that it's me. I'm forever 16 in my mind. The answer to your question is everything. Nobody truly grows up. They just get older and then die, wondering what the hell happened. I hope very much that you live to be an old woman. At 41, you still have a long way to go. Hopefully you will get the chance to share your awesome philosophy with a lot more people. Love and strength X. Watching cartoons. While a lot of cartoons nowadays aren't that good, but quite a few old ones and even some newer ones have amazing stories and compelling characters. Same goes for animated movies. Nothing wrong with watching kids shows and an adult. Craig of the Creek. I can't deal with most of the new stuff, but I love Cotsy. Definitely one of the best cartoons ATM. Shout out to Gargoyles. Also, just because something is animated, doesn't mean it's only for kids, be it something like Clone Wars which, while they have a few silly Jar Jar episodes, also deal with issues like systemic and or perhaps something like Helluva Boss, which is both very adult and incredibly hilarious. Anime and manga. Just started working at a non-traditional school, and it was so refreshing hearing a group of teachers aged 40 to 60 talking about the new season of Attack on Titan. I slept on Attack on Titan for so long, until my friend forced me to watch it against my will a few weeks ago. I'm already caught up to season 4. I think at least half my students are weebs, so they convinced the teachers to check it out. They're already asking for my Discord to play games with over holidays, which I said no after graduating sure. A lot of people I know did too. They quit halfway through the first season. I mean sure it was kinda slow, but they quit way too soon. The show is like a fine wine, it gets better with time. Anything you want to. My husband and I make it a point to buy crap we wanted as kids for gifts. This year alone we have gotten healers and a telescope. Do and learn what you want. Watch cartoons, whatever. My husband has steadily accumulated all sorts of Marvel memorabilia since we got married. We both have our own things we geek out over. It's honestly made our marriage pretty fun. Sit on your mom's lap and let her rock you. I'm not trying to ruin good vibes, but my mom died of when I was 19. I was in the army and grew up a mama's boy. When I come home on leave, when she was sick, I asked her what she wanted more than anything, and I would get it for her. She was sitting in her rocking chair and she asked me to come sit on her lap, so she could rock me. I still tell people that story today cause it makes me smile. No need to feel sorry. She was an amazing woman and I have made complete peace with the fact she is gone. But if your mom ever wants to rock you like a baby again, show her love. That's wonderful that you have that special memory of your mother. Of everything I've read in this thread, this comment made me actually put my hand to my heart and take a deep breath. Know your pain man. My mom died when Jay was 18 from colon was a huge mama's boy, never knew my dad, so I grew with only her and my grandpa. I was at the army recruitment office when she called me to tell me the news, said sorry I can't do this anymore, told them what was going on and left. Only took 2 months after we found out she was sick, happened ridiculously fast, spent every day taking care of her, laid with my head in her lap and she would song to me, and my 2 siblings miss her voice so much she had me promise to take care of my siblings cause they can't stand their dad, and to keep my promise, tell all my friends to cherish their mom while they are still here cause you never know. My mom died of colon too. She was in remission and I had signed up. When it came back it was 2 weeks before I went to boot camp. She lasted about 4 months after that. I tell all my friends the same. You don't know what you're missing till it's not there. My plushes. They are so cute and cuddly. I have 2 unicorns and a sheep. One day I'll be an actual pet mommy. Till then I have Una, Meghan and Kaylee. Also, education and creativity. I'm writing for an upcoming album/mixtape set to release end of April. Bro, I'm 29 and I keep buying plushes. I mostly get video game creatures like Cheo from Sonic and various Pokemon, but I love plushes. I have so many and I keep getting more. My Cheo are my favorite. I have 3 of the original 1999 plushes, 2 different ones they made years later, and 3 custom made Cheo. They're the best. Going to bed without brushing your teeth simply because you're too comfy, and if you get up it'll take longer to go to sleep. I find if I think about actively not brushing my teeth, I then feel guilty and won't be able to sleep, no matter how comfy I am till I brush them. This is definitely me. If I just pass out, and the following morning I realize I forgot to brush them, okay, no big deal, I just go and brush them. But if I'm in bed, and I realize I forgot to brush, I have to get up and go do it. You're never too old for a trip to the dentist. I try to brush an hour or so before bedtime for this reason. If I'm tired I just wanna crash, no obstacles. My issue is that I like to smoke weed at night and also eat snacks, but sometimes it'll make me pass out without me even trying to. Then I wake up at like 5 in the morning in my street clothes confused with bad breath. Stuffed animals, watching cartoons, baths. I guess the difference lies in moderation lol, but really, who cares? It's your life. If you want a bed covered in stuffed animals, go for it. Running anywhere in public as an adult doesn't really work out though. People get alarmed, like you're running from something bad, or you are doing something bad, depending on the place. But sometimes you just gotta do, and you don't want to spend 15 minutes walking somewhere you could get into if you ran, lol. I still sometimes run in public. I didn't even realize until I was in my mid-teens that it wasn't something everyone did to get anywhere. Sometimes I get the zoomies, then I run a little. I did actually get told off for it on a nursing placement though. Nurses aren't allowed to run unless there is an actual emergency, in case people panic. Honestly? Lego and Mega Block. Cause like, it's not hurting anyone, it's completely legal, it's cheaper than a lot of conventional models and easier to put together, it's relaxing sometimes to put some blocks together, and they make nice collector pieces and decorations. 100% recommend, especially if you have nostalgia with them, cause it'll give you that sweet nostalgia rush. There are generic Legos on Amazon that are fully compatible and actually high quality. Oh, very nice. Yee, I've seen and bought some with mixed results. Mario Kart. In fact, the older I get the prouder I'm of achieving those #1 positions. I went from Nintendo 64 to Wii to the mobile app and then Nintendo Switch. I know I missed a few, but those are the ones I got to play regularly. I only played Super MK once, and the graphics hurt my eyes so much. They were such poor quality too, and set at the highest brightness or something, like the glaring shine of casino games, almost hypnotic. Getting excited when you hear and see the ice cream van. My dad is 70, he still gets excited and dashes out to get an ice cream. OHH, my god, that makes me so happy to hear. Old men eating ice cream makes my heart melt, it's one of my favorite things. Old fella is going okay, has severe COPD, but still works basically full time, and wears a mask while shopping, just putting that out there, but the fastest he will ever move is to see his mate in the ice cream van lol. Easter eggs. Someone said the other day it's just for kids. I thought screw that, I'm 30 and love them. The chocolate is somehow so much yummier. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys for staying with me till the end. If you enjoyed watching this, you might as well watch these too.